It's time now for Real Estate Update. With Usha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty, real estate is our world.
Now we're standing here face to face, afraid to move.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's welcome to this very special segment of Real Estate Update with Usha Chandra, the principal and licensee of GlobeNet Realty. With that, Usha, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Australian Indian Radio.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back in the studios and talking about all things real estate. Well, last week we were talking about something that in Melbourne, which had some impact on the market. But today, overall, in the show, we might have it slightly different. We'll also go by the graphs, but we will go and have a look at maybe the full results for last year and identify some of the areas and some of the big sales. So are we ready, people? Yes? So let's get into the show. So Usha, once again, first of all, if you could please continue from where we left last week. In your intro, you talked about, as Melbourne, the auction market there, and there have been some withdrawals. What sort of impact has that on the market now?
Yes, the auction market was pretty down the previous week, and let's have a quick look at the results of Melbourne withdrawals continue to impact heavily on the combined capital city clearance rate. Auction volumes increased week on week with 2,445 homes taken to auction across the combined capital cities this week, and up to 1,764 over the previous week, and 1,128 this time last year. Of the 1,683 results collected so far, 55.4% were successful, making in the lowest preliminary clearance rate recorded across the combined capital cities since late April 2020. In comparison, the previous week's final result came at 64.3%, while this time last year it was 59.8% of the reported auctions that were successful. So the market was pretty down in compared to last year as well, 59.8%, whereas compared to this year 64.3%. So it's a little bit up compared to last year. Last year we know there was a lot of lockdowns. Even this year Melbourne has so many lockdowns. So that's why the results were pretty low compared to 2020 and 2021 auctions.
So the indications are that the withdrawal syndrome has been consistent, and that's what's having that result. So talking about that, let's take a look at the results and see what have the results been so far auction wise into the major capital cities.
Let's have a quick look at the Sydney market. Last year the Sydney market was, previous record, the Sydney market was a little bit down in auctions. It's picked up again to 82.7% now, and there was total number of auctions was 598, and the total cleared auctions under the HEMA was 421 properties. And let's have a look at the Melbourne market. Previous record was 63 point something percent, but this time, previous week's result is 34.7%. So it's just basically halved. So 50% down again. 1,000 total number of auctions taken, properties taken to auction was 1,195, and only 284 properties sold under the HEMA. So that shows that because of lockdown, people can't see the properties, they can't physically inspect the property, and that's the major result, showing that the market was pretty down because people can't inspect the property, and 34.7% is the lowest in history actually in Melbourne markets. Let's have a quick look at Brisbane. Brisbane has picked up again. It was down and then 71.8%. So Brisbane is quite steady actually in the 70s. So total number of properties taken to auction was 161, and 89 properties sold under the HEMA. Adelaide was 81.3%. It's gone down a little bit. It was 84% in Adelaide. 172 properties were taken to auction, and 100 sold, actually 100 sold under the HEMA, which is pretty good result for Adelaide. Perth was 72.7%, and Perth has gone down a little bit as well. 13 properties were taken to auction, and 8 of them sold under the hammer. Tasmania was not applicable. It's never applicable in Tasmania because they don't take any properties to auction. It sells by private treaty basically. Canberra has gone, oh my god, look at Canberra. Canberra has gone down to 63.2%. It was always in the 80s and 90s. So Canberra market has gone down as well because there's lockdown over there as well, and people can't go physically looking at properties. So Canberra market has gone 63.2%, whereas the previous record was 87%. So 114 properties were taken to auction, and only 60 sold under the hammer. So it's really bad record in auction results. Looking at the combined capital cities, 55.4% was the result clearance auctions. 2,245 properties were taken to auction, and less than half sold. 963 properties sold under the hammer. So that shows that the COVID has really hit hard. A lot of people can't see the properties physically. Even if you send them the videos, whatever, people are not satisfied in buying properties by looking at videos. They really need to physically go and look at the properties, especially under the hammer sort of properties. If they have just bid it under the hammer, then they have to proceed with the sale. It's an unconditional cash offer. That's why the people are hesitant to buy at auctions at the moment.
Well, that is exactly correct, because looking at the results, that's a results not necessarily of real estate transactions, but of auctions. Because of auctions, if people can't be physically there, they haven't seen the properties, and of course bidding online is still not the same. So that's why the results are where they are. Well, people were talking about that pandemic does not have a effect on real estate, but it definitely has, actually quite visible there in the auction market. Well, okay, moving on. Let's look at last year, because we are in Queensland. So if you could give us some highlight of what were the top sales in Queensland the last year, people might be surprised.
Actually, it is the top 5 properties sold in Queensland. I mean, it's amazing results. The dearest house that sold in Queensland was 22,600,000, and that was sold last year, actually in August last year under pandemic, and that was 187 to 191 Hedges Avenue in Mermaid Beach. So that's sold amazing price there, 22,600,000 in Mermaid Beach. The second top property in Queensland was sold for $17 million, and that was at 46 Seaview Terrace in Sunshine Beach. The third one was $14 million, and that was in Noosa, in Hastings Street in Noosa. The fourth one was $13,140,000, and that was in Brisbane actually. It was in Sutherland Avenue in Escott. That's a very posh, very expensive suburb there. $13,140,000 was that result of Escott. Let's have a quick look at the fifth sale in Queensland. The top 5 sales, the fifth one is $12,500,000, and that one was in Monaco Street in Broad Beach Waters. So looking at the top best performers of Queensland, the top 5 sales in Queensland, looking at the price, $22,600,000. It's amazing result. It's actually the top. I mean, we could never imagine that sort of results will happen in Mermaid Beach and all that. I mean, in pandemic period. So it is sold under the pandemic period. I mean, now a lot of people are saying that pandemic is really bad for properties. I mean, it's just in some areas it's very good. Looking at Melbourne, it's very down. But looking at Queensland is the place to live. So we have seen the best performers in Queensland from $22,600,000 to $12,500,000.
So that's the top five. Wow, amazing results there. So Escort, Sunshine Beach, and Gold Coast area there as well. So looking at those top performers, let's also look at the medium prices. Well, maybe we should look at both houses and units, the top performers in 2020.
Yes, let's have a quick look at the highest medium value was 1,859,323, and that was in Tenerife, and it's in Brisbane, in a city suburb of Tenerife. And the lowest medium price in Blackwall, Queensland, that was $87,790. The greatest 12-month change in value in Sunshine Beach was 27%. Look at the value of the properties in 27% in Sunshine Coast. The greatest 12-month change in rent, have a look at its amazing figure, 17.4%, and that's in Gladstone. Actually, there's a lot of people who are working in regional areas, like in mines and all those places where people are not buying houses, they're renting. That's why the rental market is skyrocketed over there. 17.4% rise in rentals there, and the highest rental yield was 14.6%, and that was in Whitsundays. Who imagined that Whitsundays will have that high yields? 14.6%. It's amazing results. Let's have a quick look at the highest medium value in units and apartments. $892,838 was the medium price in Sunshine Coast, in Noosa Heads in Sunshine Coast. Lowest medium price was in Whitsundays, actually it's in unit 76,123. So that's the place to buy an apartment if you want. It's a very exceptional holiday destination. We have been there. It's amazing place.
I need to say something there. If you look at the lowest medium value, it's 76, but when you look at the highest rental yields, is of course there as well. So Mackay and Whitsunday, so Isaac, Laguna Keys. So what it sort of indicates that the prices were low, but there were many people were going to holiday there or something, whatever might be the case. That's why the rental yields were at such a high number there.
Exactly. So let's have a quick look at the 12-month change in rentals, and then it was in Gold Coast 24.9%, and in Gladstone again in Queensland 15.3%, and highest rental yields was in Cairns and 11.4%. So that shows the results, the best performers in 2020 in Queensland.
Wow, that's amazing results there as well. Very good. So okay, right now let's also have a quick look at highest medium value of houses, of course, because it will give us a little bit of an indication. This is more so in Queensland or Brisbane area.
Yes. As we have spoken about the Tenerife, the highest sale in Tenerife, the Brisbane inner city suburb, and 18 properties sold in Tenerife, and the median value was $1,859,323. And the Chandra was the next suburb, Brisbane East, which is in 16 sales happened over there, and $1,577,355 was the median price there. Escort was Brisbane in a city suburb, 77 sales, and median value in Escort, as we talked about Escort median values, 1.5 million plus in Escort. Hamilton is the next inner city suburb, which is a very good suburb, very posh suburb as well. 55 sales, 1.4 million, over 1.4 million dollars worth of property there. New Farm is the inner city suburb as well. 62 sales, $1,373,000 was their median price. St. Lucia's in the west of Brisbane, 54 sales, and $1,367,000 was the median price there. And Hawthorne, which is Brisbane inner city suburb, again 79 sales, 1,326,000. Actually 1,326,000 there. Bulimba is another inner city suburb, 75 sales, 1,325,000. And Upper Brookfield. Upper Brookfield is Brisbane's west suburb, 13 sales, and it is $1,200,000 is over there. Fig Tree Pocket is Brisbane west suburb, 62 sales, and 1.2 million is their medium price there. So if you look at the medium price in the inner city suburbs, from 1 million to 1.8 million to 1.2 million. So looking at the values when we were talking about with the Olympic Games coming and all that, they were saying that medium price in Brisbane will be at least $1 million. So that shows that it's over 1.2 million in the inner city suburbs, and they are reaching really high values at the moment.
Yes, and I remember right here we were talking with ST, and when she was talking about getting to million plus, look at the medium value there now. We are already there.
Already there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so of course the other area to keep an eye on are the units and apartments as well, because there's lots happening sort of inner city and Moreton Bay area, etc. as well. So if we can have a similar comparison for the units as we had for the houses.
Yes, the highest medium values in the suburbs. Let's have a quick look at the inner city suburbs first. Barden is 27 properties sold, and 665,000, almost 666,000 is their medium value price in apartments and units. Hendra is the next big suburb there, 11 sales, 623,000 is their medium price. Tenerife, we talked about the biggest sale there is 1.8 million is their medium price in houses, and look at that apartments is 615,000. New Farm is again in a city suburb, 205 sales, 205 properties sold, apartments, and 591 is their medium price. Bulimba is in a city suburb, 94 sales, 583,000 is their medium price. Newstead in a city suburb, 107 sales, and 541,000 is their medium price. The Gap in Brisbane West is 15 sales, 518 is their medium price. Paddington in a city suburb as well, 54 sales, and 517 is their medium price. Scarborough on the peninsula, Moreton Bay region in north of Brisbane, it's 91 sales, 513 sales, 513 is their medium price. Still a good place to buy. It's near the ocean and very nice area with all the beaches there. Western in a city suburb, 143 new sales, 506 is their medium price. So looking at all the compared to the houses and the apartments and units, it's basically less than half in the sale price.
And that is something which we have been monitoring throughout our presentations, that the values are almost half there, but a very good indication there that the highest medium value was in Barden, which is 665, and the most number of sales has been in New Farm, 205. Wow, that's amazing. Wonderful. I think this has been a very good presentation today with all these kind of comparisons as well.
Yes.
Well, of course, we know that in real estate there's two areas. One is sales, the other one is rentals. So if we can have a look at rental yields on houses to see where we stand with those.
Yes, let's have a quick look at the yields, suburbs and regions. Riverview, Ipswich is 6.9% is the rental yield, and the medium value rental is $317. Kilcoy, Moreton Bay North region, 6.8% is their rental yield, and 378 is their medium rental value. 1 mile, Ipswich, 6.5%, 320 is their medium rental value. Kingston, Logan, Bow Desert, also on the south side, 6.5% is their medium rental yield, and $369 is their medium rental price. Goodna is in Ipswich, 6.5%, and 357 is their rental yield. Leichhardt in Ipswich, 6.4%, 322 is their medium rental properties. Logan Central in Logan Bow Desert area is 6.4%, 356 is their medium rental price. Oldridge Logan area as well, 6.4% is their medium rental yield, and 357 is their rental price. Lately Ipswich, 6.3% is their rental yield, and $321 is their rental. Russell Island, Brisbane's East, 6.3% is pretty good there, $293 for their medium price. I was just thinking about it. We should have invested in that Russell Island, where we were getting properties for 25,000, 30,000. The real yield would have been really good now.
Well, that is what they say, that real estate agents, rather than always just advising people, should do the same as well and invest. Well, I mean, looking at these rental yields, of course, previously the rule of thumb was that rental yields should be around 8% or something like that. So right now, looking at this chart, the highest is 6.9. So you can safely say that the rental yields is about 7%. So it's not too far away off that 8%. So these are the top ones, from 6.9 going down to 6.3 in the rental yields. Of course, we know inner city and other ones where the rental medium weekly rent would be very high, but the yields might not be, so they didn't make it to this chart, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
So that's what this chart is about. Wow, that's a very, very good indication. Well, so I'm also mindful of the time, so in conclusion, if we can look at, well, in conclusion, Usha, if you could just give us the national best performances for 2020. So looking at highest medium value to highest rental yields, maybe in houses and units in one go.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the highest value. It's in eastern suburbs. In Sydney, $7,063,773, and the lowest was in $58,582, and that's looking at in Western Australia. So we have looked at those two there, and let's have a quick look at the units at the same time. The highest was in Sydney again, in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. 2,281,000 was their price, highest medium price, and the lowest medium price was 76,123, and that was in Whitsundays. Let's have a quick look at the greatest 12-month change in value. 27.6% was the change in Sunshine Coast, and the lowest change, looking at the units there, 25.7%, and the greatest change in rentals was 23.7%, and that's again in eastern suburbs in South Australia. And then looking at the greatest change in the rentals was in units was at 20.6%, and the highest rental yield was 14.6%, and that was in Whitsundays, as we discussed before, and the highest rental yield in was 14.1%. So that shows the national best performers in the best performers for 2020 in houses and units.
Well, that is well, those are amazing results. Looking at the highest medium value in Darling Point in Sydney, 7 million, and highest medium value in units, 2.2 million there. Wow. And looking at the greatest value change, Sunshine Coast, 27.6 for the houses and 25.7 in Victoria. So that's great. Well, so thank you so much for all that information. It was quite an interesting segment today. There's lots, and I mean, look, because we are also mindful of the time, otherwise you can go into great details details and discuss each of these things into the details and analyze those. But it has been a very, very good comparison, and it is an eye opener looking at throughout the company. Well, of course, this is in hindsight, meaning this is in 2020, and of course this was during that pandemic, as you mentioned rightfully. So we will keep an eye for 2021 as we are catering towards that tail end of the year right now into the last quarter. We'll see how it fares, and next week we will bring the weekly update once again. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Usha Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, thanks very much for joining in. And at this time for today, a slightly different time. As we know, sometimes there are things that need to be fitted in. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining in today into the real estate update with Usha Chandra. So until tomorrow, it's goodbye for us.